So what is up guys, Nick here, back again with another video. In this episode, we are going to talk about phones that you should upgrade this year. Now, we're going to begin with the iPhone 7. The 7 has lost support. No iOS 16 coming to the 7 and 7 Plus, which I'm not going to show the Plus here, but just the 7 series in general. It's probably time to make that upgrade. People will say, well, listen, Nick, you still get security updates. I don't have to get rid of my phone. I'm not saying you have to get rid of your phone. I just think there comes a time in a phone's life cycle where you want to do the recycle, you want to get rid of it, and just move on to something better with better infrastructure like 5G, pushing you forward into the future, giving you a faster phone experience, allowing you to connect to devices quicker, and just, if you're using all this tech anyway, why not make it a more efficient lifestyle? And if you're using all this technology anyway, why not make your life a little bit more efficient? Not only that, the battery is not great on the 7 anymore. It heats up a lot. The camera is okay. It's not excellent anymore. That goes for the 7 Plus as well. 7 Plus has a pretty nice display, but the 7 just feels quite dated at this point. Very dinosaur kind of feel of an iPhone right now, even though the SE still contains this body. It's just an old feeling phone. So I think it's time. It's an iPhone I would definitely consider recommending you to do an upgrade. Some of these are going to be wild cards on this list. Some of these are going to be things that you don't agree with, but we're going to move on to the next one, which actually has support for iOS 16. It's the iPhone 8. Apple has done 2 iterations of an upgrade to this phone in the form of the SE 2020 as well as in the form of the SE 2022, where they brought 5G at a cheap price point with an Apple A15 Bionic. You could have been upgraded this phone, but if you're looking for, something a little bit more future-proofed, the better performing iOS 16, get rid of this one and try to do an upgrade this year to something newer. Reason I say that is in my iOS 16 testing so far, the iPhone 8 performs okay, but a little bit more sloppy than the other iPhones. I don't expect this to improve drastically. We'll see at the end of the beta, but this phone was already heating up last year for me on iOS 15. It could be my unit, but at the end of the day, the iPhone 8 still doesn't have a great camera at this point. Still has this 4K 60, which is enough for people on video. But when you're talking about the newer cameras, not only did they improve the software algorithms, they also brought better hardware lenses to improve your overall experience. So the front-facing camera is still going to be that older 7 megapixel variety, which really doesn't do you any favors in terms of backing out. You can't really get a lot of people in the photo. The video is also incredibly dull looking compared to the newer, better vlogging setups on the newer iPhones. So I think you just will improve your experience a lot if you consider upgrading the 8 series this year. Just bump the camera. Now, okay guys, so talking the iPhone 10, this is the next one on the list. 2017 iPhone. The issue with this phone is not really its build, it's not its display. It's simply that its processor is already really aging. It's an Apple A11 Bionic. You see that little chop right there. 16 doesn't run super fantastic right now. I know we're in the early beta stages. The phone is just it's just been upgraded so much. It's just time. I mean, you're running out of not only value to sell this. You wait a couple more years, you're gonna get nothing for this phone. The cameras have been majorly upgraded. The battery doesn't last that long on these newer versions of iOS, and it heats up a lot when doing anything heavy. The iPhone 10, while a gorgeous premium redesign, still feels like a fantastic phone here in 2022. It just doesn't have 5G. It doesn't have one of the faster A series chips. It's just time to consider an upgrade on the iPhone 10. I've recommended it a lot in the past, and it still has a special place in my heart. I love that phone for its iconic redesign. But at the same time, I think it's time. They've upgraded this phone multiple times in the form of the XS, the iPhone 11 Pro, 12 Pro, 13 Pro, and we're gonna be on our 5th upgrade to this phone here in September. So this one, a lot of people aren't gonna agree with, but I'm not fully 100 on this one, but definitely close. And that is, I recommend considering. That's why I'm not 100%, but I definitely recommend considering an upgrade on the 2018 versions of the iPhone, the entire 2018 versions. That would be the iPhone XR and the iPhone XS models. Let me go ahead and unlock this one. This is the iPhone XS, and I have recommended the XS as a trying out iPhone now. It's definitely recommended if you find it at a cheaper price point to try out iOS. It's got a couple years, but But in this video, I'm talking about a person's main phone. People have been on these since day one, and they're considering, is it time for me to upgrade yet? I'm feeling like I'm itching to try something new. It's time, because these are gonna net you a pretty good value if you decide to sell them secondhand, not directly with the store. But if you decide to sell them secondhand, you probably can net a decent amount of cash on these. They've run fine for a couple more years, but their issues is that they are getting a little bit slower. You know, they're not as fast as the A series, the newer A series, and they're not quite as, you know, smooth as those with those newer 120 Hz displays. But the real thing, those aren't even the big things on my mind. The big things on my mind are simply 5G and the improved batteries. Batteries are getting so much better on the newer iPhones. So 2018 iPhones, tough call. It was really tough thinking about this one, but I think you should at least consider an upgrade when the 14s come out. You don't got to rush on the upgrades for these now, and you could even make it another year. But lacking 5G is pushing, you're just going to get behind going forward, and their software support is running low. These phones are going to be on their 4th upgrade this year, and then there'll be one more, and then we don't know where we're going to be with these phones coming soon. So I think it's time if you're looking to go another 5-6 years. Okay, so let's talk about a wild card. And what I mean by a wild card, these are phones that you simply do not have to do the upgrade, but it should be considered, and considered for a couple of reasons. And these are the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. They're pretty similar to my reasons for the 2018 iPhones. These are the 2019 iPhones, but these have triple cameras, just like current iPhones. They not only have that, they have gorgeous builds. They are the Pro lines, the first Pro lines. They do amazing photos and video work. These are just hard to say you have to do it. So I'm not gonna say you have to do it this year. You're still gonna get another 3 years of updates, maybe 2. We'll have to see how it goes, because Apple does surprise us sometimes with the update schedule. Even though most of them are gonna go minimum 5 years, they don't always go 6. So my thing with these is that they can still net you quite a bit of cash, and that makes your newer iPhone purchase, if you apply it to that, much more attainable. So why not just get that extra cash while these still have a high sale value, and go ahead and get you a 14 or 14 Pro Max. I would, if you've held on to the 11 Pros, I would simply wait to see what the 14 and 14 Pro Max brings. But selling these now is definitely gonna net you more than if you wait till next year with the 15 series. So no 5G. These are like iPhone 13 and 12 models with a curvy design and no 5G. So they're kind of like a mashup of the old and the new. They got that iPhone 10, 10s, 10R kind of series feel with the 11, with the 12 and the 13 Pro kind of feel on the back as well as the sides. So you kind of have a mashup of the old and the new with the 11 Pro series line. So with that high value, consider selling them off and getting yourself something newer. That's my recommendation. That's what I would consider. The only reason I keep them is to continue to keep you updated on how they're performing, which we will cover these on iOS 16 as well. So at the end of the day, consider doing this upgrade all the way starting back from the iPhone 7, especially the 7 not getting software support going forward. 2017 iPhones and forward still run pretty solid, with the 2017s feeling a little slow in the initial stages of beta, but we can't confirm how they're going to perform till later on. Overall, all of these starting at least the 10R to the 11 Pro will get you a decent chunk of change towards your next iPhone, provided you sell it by yourself, especially going up to like the Pro or the 10s Max line, these larger iPhones. These can get you several $100, like at least $300 on the iPhone 10s Max, 350, maybe $400 depending on the storage capacity, all the way up to like $650 on the 11 Pro Max. That is substantial. That's like a 50% application towards the next iPhone. If you apply that to the next iPhone, like if you apply $650 on the sale to a $1,200 iPhone, you're getting a $1,200 iPhone for $650. But again, you have to do the sale work by yourself. So that's it for me. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. I will catch you all in the next episode. Let me know which ones you're going to upgrade this year. You plan on, do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. Let's talk about it. I'll catch you on the next one. Nick here, and peace.